I
Oh,
believe God.
that's not what I was trying to say. Sorry, I maybe misunderstood it, but yeah.
All right, go ahead, sir.
No, I'm just trying to say that we still can think about and question things that happen in the Bible and still say, because some of the question is like basically, well, I'm not sure, I don't understand. I think there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I don't know. I think there's nothing wrong with saying that as well. But also, we do uphold the text as to we don't judge it, or we have a sense of like there's a misunderstanding. Because even when we try to explain to them the reason why God had Israel wipe out and clean out the land, it's still because they're anti-God. It doesn't matter what we say. You know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say? Like if
yeah.
we start going into like giants and the Nephilim and the tainted blood, and
No,
they
I get
weren't
it.
really percent human, why did you kill the giants? They didn't know any better.
No, I understand. So, like, I believe that if you find a book that's 99% ethically useful, that it doesn't just improve your life, but your friends and your families and your community's existence, that's considered a good book. This idea that the only reason someone would follow the Bible is because they could justify every verse, that's not what I teach, especially to people who don't
Right.
already believe in the Bible. So that's what
Right.
we have to stop doing. Okay, there's no such thing as perfection on earth here. There could be errors in the Bible. The reason we follow the Bible over the Quran is because it's more consistently ethical. In life, the choice is typically not between what's perfect and what's horrific, but between what's good and what's better. The Bible is a better alternative to nothingness, to the Communist Manifesto, any book out there by Sam Harris. That's what people don't understand. The best is the enemy of the better. It's better to live by this Bible. It's had a better track record of improving societies than any other atheistical pursuit. This is my argument to the atheists. Not that, because an atheist, the first thing they'll do, well, they'll pull out their little notebook with the 3 examples and try to throw the baby out with the bathwater just because of those 3 examples. Give it to them. Say, you got it. I wish that was worded differently because it got you confused, and this is why we're trying to discuss it. Let's focus in every other aspect that this book has improved society. Let's focus on that, and they won't have a response because overall, atheism has been a net loss and the Bible has been a net gain. And when you're discussing life with people outside of your religion, you always have to focus on the macro, not the micro. Forget about trying to win the battle, try to win the war. And that's my philosophy there.
Hmm.
So when you say the ethics and morals, like you mentioned the Muslims and how they become fanatics and stuff like that, how you take into account the story of Abraham and Isaac, when God asked him to sacrifice his son, would you, if God asked you, for instance, something like that, would you consider that a good God? I mean, how you
Okay.
See, it's the same. That's what I was just saying.
Right. No, I understand. Those are one of the 3 things. I have a problem with the story that we call the Akeda. If God would tell me to unalive my son, I would not do it. Okay, I would not do it. However, we really have to ask ourselves, as religious people, what is the Torah? I mean, is the Torah the story of Abraham? Because the word Torah means instructions. Nowhere does it say that this story of Abraham possibly sacrificing his son was given on Mount Sinai. It just doesn't say that in the Bible. We believe it in tradition, but it didn't come down from God, at least not according to the Torah. So our religion doesn't stand on whether the flood occurred or didn't occur, on whether Abraham tried to sacrifice Isaac over Ishmael. That's not what our religion stands on. That's folklore and legend. And yes, it acts as a platform for chronology to step in, and it leads you to Mount Sinai, and there are even commandments that are dependent on what appears in the book of Genesis, like keeping the Sabbath. That doesn't make or break our religion. But to be honest, and I always teach first we have to tell the truth, then give our opinion. I think that's a wacky notion. The notion that God would tell Abraham to sacrifice his son. We have to be honest, guys, or then we're never going to win debates. Give him
But
that one. Say, I wish that was worded differently. Now, you can say there's ways. I'm a big fan of Dennis Prager and his Rational Bible. So there's ways that you could rationalize it differently. But we sure, as religious people, wish that was worded differently. Because whoever put that in there